All honor and glory go to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone. Shalom salutations to the hopeful elect that's fighting the good fight of faith and truth and sincerity. Shalom unto the Akwath, which is the sisters that believe in his truth and sincerity. Shalom unto you. You know, Thankslaughtering, not Thanksgiving. You know, this is what they did. This is what the so-called pilgrims did. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, establish a city by iniquity. Removing people's landmarks, that's in the law. You ain't supposed to do that. You ain't supposed to have unrighteous violence either. All right? And then they broke the covenant. All right? They came with a peace treaty. And we all know what Esau Edom did. Smallpox, Wounded Knee, the Battle of Wounded Knee had everybody, they basically cornered them. They basically, Gad, Reuben, they was chilling. You know what I'm saying? And then you got all the armies basically encamped around them and just blew them away. All right? And you have to understand, this is the MO of the devil. This is what this is his only purpose of life. It's to cause hell and destruction on the earth. That's it. That's it. But, Thanksgiving, Thankslaughtering, that's what I call it. But this is what he did. Everywhere he go, hell and destruction follow and bloodshed. So it say, woe to him that buildeth a town, and with blood establish a city by iniquity. Now, for unbelievers, who the hell you think this is talking about? This is very plain. This is very, very plain. You should be able to be like, yeah, they did come over here and steal the land of the northern kingdom. All right. Predominantly Gad and Reuben, but you still had Latinos over in the West Coast. All right. So, and then, they colonized everywhere that they went. But we're going to stick to Thanksgiving because, the wicked holiday that our people love to worship. So, from here. Now, come on, man. Tell me who this sound like. For the ones in the truth, this is plain to us, but these videos be for the edification of the elect, of course, and then to gain the gainsayers, because these scriptures is plain. So it say he had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He broke his covenant. What I just spoke about. When the pilgrims came over here, Gad, Reuben, the pilgrims, Christopher Columbus and the gang, they made a peace treaty saying that if you don't do no harm to me, I won't do no harm to you. All right? And we know what happened. So you have to understand that they slaughtered the Indians by breaking the covenant, which they are called Gad and Reuben in the scriptures. So, and it says the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, because when he came to them, he came humbling down, crouching down. Scripture I'm probably going to get later in this lesson. But yeah, he came crouching and humbling down. All right. So, but guess what? It said, but war was in his heart. And we seen the byproduct of the war that was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords. And that's what they did. They did it by biochemical warfare and literally warfare. So the devil, he have no bounds. He have no limits when it comes to his wickedness. All right. I was going to get into the history of Thanksgiving, but I really don't like making, an hour-long video. I don't even like making a half an hour video. I like to get straight to the point. So I'm just going to get the scriptures to back it up. All right. So, and these people think that they're not going to pay for it. But that's why the scripture said that the just shall live by his faith. Oops, wrong one. And this is literally what he did. It said, whose possessors slay them and hold himself not guilty, and they that sell them say, blessed be Yahweh, for I am rich. Their own shepherds pity them not. And that's what they did. They did that in slavery. All right. After they conquered the Northern Kingdom, the Latinos and Native Americans, they brought them over into Europe, and then they brought, the so-called black people, so-called Negroes, Haitians, and Jamaicans over here to build up this country. But guess what? In Psalms 50, it say that the Most High basically got to be with us. And he is. But the flip side of that is that you're going to have to pay for everything that you've done. That's what they don't understand. They didn't consider they later in. So even though they got away, like the scripture just said, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty, they don't think that they're guilty. Now they're trying to have a little shame because now it's in the forefront. People know about the real Thanksgiving now. So you got a lot of people speaking against it. So, shame should be spewed on their glory, as it say in Habakkuk. So now they're trying to have some type of shame, but deep down inside, they really don't give a damn because they're the devil. So from here, it say, and they have rewarded me evil for good and hatred for my love. Now this is King David talking, but you can equate this into the so-called Native American Indians and Seminole Indians and scattering the Latino tribes, because they was majority in Central and South America, but you had some over here too. So you can equate this to that because that's what they do. So they have rewarded me evil for good because we ain't put our hands towards them to do evil. We made a covenant with them because naturally we are a loving people. As in the curses to say that we should have evil eye towards the man that is tender and delicate. That's our natural state. We are tender and delicate people. But since we under the curses, we lost our way. This is the reason why Thankslaughtering happened. All right. So at the end of the day, you always, even though you can get on the devil, because you could get on the devil for this, but I got a point to make. This is what he did. So it says, I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped for the affliction. So they went all out. All right. So like even when you watch those slavery movies and things like that, that's surface level, and that shit is bad. When you watch those movies, you get mad. You want to go knock a so-called white man over the head. But the thing is that they helped for the affliction. They went all out. So that's why we're gonna go all out on him. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, joint for joint, as it say in the law. So, but going back to the point, all this happened to us for our disobedience. Always remember that. This is why you need the Lord. So you got people out here who acting like they don't need the Lord. If the Lord was able to give you remembrance of your past life, you will realize how much you need the Lord. All right? Because if he was able to bring you, give you a flashback of, when you was in slavery, if you were so-called Gadite or Reubenite, the time that the pilgrims came over here and slaughtered, you would be like, oh shit, I need Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. But see, the Lord, he allowed things to ease up for the prophets to come on the scene and prophesy against this devil. All right? Because that's what's going to usher in the kingdom. But from here, and another thing too, It's nothing. It's not wicked to eat. All right. Lawful food on Thanksgiving. All right. You pray over the food in the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. You don't participate in the festivities. If you want to eat a plate of lawful food, all right, 1 Corinthians 8 explain that. But back to the lesson. So it say, my soul have long dwelt with him that hateth peace. All right. I am for peace, but when I speak, they are for war. So that's why we prophesy against this devil and tell him that all the things that you have done, you're going to get it double. All right? It's going to get so bad that at the end of the thing, read Obadiah verse 18. That's how bad it's going to be for you. Can't even say you get a strike these days. It said, my soul have long dwelt with peace, with him that hateth peace. All right, he don't love peace because he's the devil. Hell and destruction follow him. John 10:10, the devil come to steal, kill, and destroy, but I have come that I may give you life and give you it abundantly. That's what Yahushua said, but the devil do the opposite. He don't want peace. He want war. All right? So I am for peace because we were for peace. When we was over there in Africa, we weren't thinking about no damn. We're not from Africa. We fled into Africa from Roman persecution. But when we settled there, we weren't worried about no damn Edomites. All right, they came effing with us. All right, and it's all for prophecy's sake because of our disobedience. But he got to pay for everything. That's why I always say that you want to know what real hate is? Look at Esau, Edom, and what the Lord is doing. Because the Lord put the spirit on him to do all these atrocities to us. All right? Have him destroy the earth. Give him all this power. Harden his heart. All right? And then the Lord going to destroy him for everything that he does. That's like us being obedient. All right? Being perfect. And then the Lord still kicking our ass. That's hate right there. So Esau's being obedient. He's very good at what he do. All right. And the Lord's still going to destroy him for it. So from here. So say, if I have rewarded evil unto him that was at peace with me, yeah, I have delivered him that without cause is my enemy. Because that's what, when I was a kid, when you're a kid, you have no understanding, especially if your parents don't know anything about the truth. So I used to think, like most of us, we went into slavery because of the color of our skin. Like, why do they hate us so much? What did we do? All right. So even as a child, I knew that we didn't really do anything to them. And it was like over some skin color shit. But now we in the truth now. And we understand that it's spiritual. We understand that this is the Lord's sword that he sent against us. And then from Genesis 3 all the way through the Bible, we realize that, and then all the way to Genesis 25, we was fighting in the womb. So we're natural born enemies literally. So we never rewarded these people evil. All right. But if you want to be technical, back in the time of King David, we was throwing them off the mountains. But anyways, back to the point. They don't remember that. We don't remember that. So that's how you know that it's just natural hatred between us, and that's spiritual. All right. But we ain't do nothing to them. So that's why they got to pay even more. So let the enemy persecute my soul and take it. Let him tread down my life upon the earth and lay my honor in the dust, Selah. See, this is if we would have did something to him. Then the person, if you do something to somebody, then you got to expect something back. But it said, let the enemy persecute my soul. This is if we have rewarded them for evil. And it says, arise, O Yahweh, in thy anger, lift up thyself because of the rage of my enemies, and awake for me to the judgment that thou hast commanded. And that's what's going to happen. All right. That's what's going to happen. And from slavery, from Thankslaughtering, you have to understand that this is why this is a very important scripture, and our people still don't get it to this day because it ain't meant for them. My son going crazy. Always loud when I want to do a video. So it say, never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. All right? All right? And one thing that iron will not do is not rust. All right? Iron is going to rust. So is his wickedness. When it says, though he humble himself, and go, this is what he did. This is what he did in Thankslaughtering. Okay? They made a covenant. Though he humble himself and go crouching, and yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. All right. So after you wipe away, his crouching down and being humble, then you will be able to see. All right, because you real foggy if you thinking that this devil is going to be good to you. All right, so after you wiped away the fog, all right, you were able to see that his wickedness have not been altogether wiped away. And the scriptures also talks about how he shall seek to please the poor. All right, so he do things to oh yeah, and the scriptures say that a gift destroyeth the heart. So you have to understand he know the scriptures too, so he used it to his advantage. All right. He just don't know the mysteries. The scripture said he ain't consider his later end. Otherwise, he wouldn't be doing this shit. All right. And this the last scripture. It says, set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, which symbolize your power. Lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words, and be pricked therewith. Because when you go down in this chapter, it said, should a charmer be pitied by if a charmer be bitten by a snake, should he be pitied? I'm paraphrasing. It's the 16th verse. But so nobody feels sad for you. I'm talking about modern day Israelites. When you cleave on to the devil, acting like he's got your best interest at heart. But I thought this video would be edifying. I got a couple of scriptures about what this devil did and Thankslaughtering, So hopefully this video was edifying, and shalom.